Hello there and welcome. In this video I want to introduce Millennia to you, the newest 4X game released under the wing of Paradox. So it has been received by the community very controversially, to say the least. When it was clocking in yesterday, it was sitting on mostly negative, with only 33% of the people liking it that were writing the reviews. It's slowly getting back upwards to a very positive trend, and that is because, actually, don't get yourself fooled, Millennia is a pretty cool 4X game that does a lot of things right. So my goal in this video is to give you an idea of what's really good about this game and what went horribly wrong with it, because there are sadly a couple of things that we need to talk about. There's no sugarcoating around it. But I want to start it with the good things. So we have here a classic 4X game. We start out with a little city that we build up. We can hire settlers and expand with that. We get to produce in these cities either buildings or units. That's all very familiar things. Where this game sets itself apart is that it introduces a lot of resource management and resource diversity. So it begins that we not only have research points, no, we also produce culture points. Whenever we have produced enough culture points, we can trigger a special event, depending on our own specializations, technologies, and whatnot. Can we go for either a technological breakthrough or just another army? We can produce culture points with buildings and other ways, so we could focus into that if we'd want to. We also have domains, so there's government, allowing us to spawn settlers and raise armies in a pinch, but we can also use the same points that we generate to upgrade our tribal government for more generalistic upgrades. There are exploration experience points that we generate either by exploring or building outposts in the cities that generate these XP. These can be used for scout spawning. We have warfare XP that we can use for volunteers or other things. A lot of the new options that you get where you can spend these experience points, they come via research. Research is divided into ages. As you see here, we have 5 technologies for the Stone Age, 6 for the Bronze Age, and as soon as we have 3 technologies here researched of the specific age, we get to select, if we are the first ones, which new age shall begin. There's always a standard age and sometimes varieties, so there can be an Age of Blood, which is a negative age, Age of Heroes, which is just a special way around, and the Age of Iron, which will be the regular course of events. So in terms of replayability, this sets the game in so far apart that there will be always bumps and hitches that will a little bit different than the previous time. The downside is that only the person that goes into the next age first gets to determine what kind of age it will be. And as you can see here, if you are losing the tech race to the AI and it doesn't have the Age of Heroes unlocked, it will just go straight into the Age of Iron, because the next age is for all players. I don't like that. Most people in the reviews didn't like that, because this feels like either you are stupidly ahead and you get to determine and you get to decide what times will be ahead, or you will be victim to the AI most of the time. This is not necessarily so much a bad thing, because sometimes new things happen, but it is a little bit weird. It is like a carrot on a stick that is most of the time, if you are playing for a challenge, not available for you. Anyways, I'm digressing. These whole experience things, there's whole domains to these. So whenever you go into a new age, or every 2 ages, you see you get to select new domains. These domains give you bonuses if you are the first one to select them, and here again specialization pays off, but here again also you lose points if you are the second in the run, and this is, again, I don't like the competitiveness behind that, because if I want to have a run where I am going for naturalist mound builders and somebody else in the AI had that idea first, I'm already lower on resources than them, because you only get the bonus if you choose these as the first person. Either way, this is, again, here, the system itself is cool, but the implementation feels a little bit wonky. So here I went for mound builders, and here again, I can now select to either invest my engineering points that I now can earn again via buildings and various other gameplay mechanics. They can be either invested to make my cities better, or specific parts of my city, or I can use it to spawn units that can improve my cities, or I can expand cities, I can buy more points that allow me to build more provincial improvements. So there's, again, here a real cool part because it is a lot of strategizing here. We can play every game here very differently by choosing what is important to us, and then we have to choose what do we do with those resources that we allocated by this playstyle, because you will have to build specific buildings to get those development points. So there's very specific things. There's buildings for diplomacy game style, buildings for exploration game style, military game style. There's a specialization path for everybody. That is a really cool part that I really enjoy, that feels very good. Continuing with the good things, there is the improvement system. So you see, gather these improvement points, and then you can select areas inside of your territory, and then you can build improvements there. A forester gathers logs. These produce production points. A farm produces wheat. Wheat produces food. The cool part begins now when we progress technologically, and we can build then a saw pit, which will convert 3 logs into lumber, which produces double as much production points. So basically, if our city is specialized in wood production, we can amp up the bonuses out of that tremendously. And as we see here, this city here most likely will never be able to get that done because you only can gather 1 unit of logs per wood, at least in the beginning. So this city here is much more eligible for that playstyle, whereas here we could plot down a lot of farms, a terrible lot of farms. So in the cities themselves, or the regions, you get to decide where your workers will work, and as you see there, each area here has a different income, and the different materials then give you different bonuses. So there's really a cool system that I innately enjoyed, because things build up on each other, and I love production chains. I mean, who doesn't? So the meat and bones here are really cool, and well, the rest is just the usual 4X goodness. You roam around, you meet other players, you hate them for taking your neutral villages, where you can discover events that give you random resources. There's barbarians everywhere that will crush your cities if you are not paying attention. So yeah, there's really things that you will be very familiar with if you played games like Civilization. But where Millennia really sets itself apart is that whole experience point and production chain system, and that's a very refreshing take on everything, because I personally hated Civilization 6. Yeah, it's a very personal take. I didn't like it at all. I was stuck with Civ 5, and I never went past that. Anyways, I was very refreshed to see that they didn't try to do the same province system there all over again. But here I have to go sadly over to the next part of my review, where we're talking more about the bad things, because we pretty much have used up the appeal. So first and foremostly, this game feels hurried. The graphics, I don't want to badmouth the graphics. I'm playing games that look way worse than that. I mean, I find it very simplistic for a game that's that costly. But either way, that's okay. I am not, I don't want to badmouth it at all. It is the decision of the developers. I just want to add in the thought that if you make a game visually not so complex, it is always much easier to add new things into the game that are creative. Whereas if you have stunning visual assets, your creativity might be hampered by the fact that you need to program your ideas into a visual appeal. That can be very costly. But enough about that. The real problem, in my opinion, where Millenia stands is that this game has just been flushed out way too early. So when we're going back to the main menu, let me show the following. So first off, multiplayer has been marketed that it was around, not possible, only cloud hot seat. And this is also in a very, very primitive status. I cannot even contact directly my Steam friends or anything. No, it is really bare bones and much worse than it was announced. Also, when we go into the new game, we can either do a quick start, where we can just select who we're playing, what kind of starting bonus we want to have, and we can go into a custom game, and then we can select how large the map shall be. What kind of map seed should be used, okay, but that's about it. We can go into the nation builder, where we can select what kind of logo we want to have, what kind of graphic assets should be used for our cities, and I was very pleased to see how many different asset packages they have for all the different cultures. So that showed me how obvious it is that this game just was flushed out too early. The developers really want to give you the depth, but yeah, they just weren't there yet. So yeah, this is all we have currently at the release date for a $40 game. In terms of game session creation, this is a nightmare. This is really, really, this is why people are rating this game badly, okay? It is less about what's inside the game, but this is the first impression that you're getting. And then the next impression you're getting is that not so up-to-date graphics, to put it into kind words, and then I'm not surprised that people didn't like what they got there. And to make matters worse, things are really, how to put it, feel sometimes underwhelming. For example, discovering these markers. Yeah, you see, I have 2 times a tall mountain. They don't even have different names. I had the same text on that. On my very first starting point, I mean, come on, give me at least different things. And what's also very obvious and very much criticized is the sheer amount of barbarians. I mean, alright, I get it. It's the Dark Ages, it's before Christian times, but seriously, if you don't defend up your city, you're getting overrun. And out there, your scouts, they're getting massacred by all the barbarian hordes. And since we can't change anything about the game settings so far, it's a little bit odd. So combat is also very simplistic. You just move the army stack on top of the other, and then the combat will be fought out automatically. Units have distinct advantages versus one versus another. It's the basics of scissor, stone, paper gameplay. So there are units that are better in cities. There are units that beat archers, and archers beat line troops, and you know, spears beat cavalry. In the end, it is always to bring the right tool against the right troop, and I find that it is okay, sure, but it doesn't tickle my fancy too much, in all honesty. This game stands much stronger in the fun where you build up the production lines and all that, but altogether, where this game always failed me when I was trying to get deeper in it was that there was not a single mechanic that I took into my hands where I didn't feel like, yeah, you guys should have released that as an early access. So, you know, it is sad to say that. I like the game, but it's not finished yet. And given the price of it, it's really a shame that we have to pay $40 for a game that has already 2 DLCs announced, where I feel like this game would have needed a lot more time in the oven to be really what it could be, because now we stand in front of the risk that a very promising game, because I think that this has a real good foundation, is going to be diminished by the storm of negative reviews that will surely fall into this. And there might be a chance that this game might be going under because of a really too hurried release. And I gotta say, it's really sad. It's really sad. I cannot fully recommend it, even though it is fun to play. It has fun mechanics. It has fun ways to take things new, especially the production chains where you build up your cities are cool, but this is your combat. I mean, it serves its purpose, but it feels way too much like a mobile game for my taste. So, yeah. The game grows more and more complex the deeper you go into the ages. There are more and more mechanics that add on top of each other. It's all there, but I had the feeling as if things didn't work as well together as they should. But these are fixable problems. That's balancing and, you know, the whole mess with the barbarians and all. Yeah, I'll leave it like that. I don't really have much to add besides if you like 4X games in general, this is a good game. Don't get me wrong. It's really good in every single aspect what a game like this should do, but it feels unfinished. It feels like a game that was not ready to be released yet. There's a real cool amount of specialization that you can go for. You can play a civilization that's hell-bent on warfare, on architecture, on diplomacy. There are so many ways that you can try to play this whole thing. But the big problem is you get super quickly griefed out by the AI out of your desired strategy, and it just feels like it's not done yet. Like, they're... I feel bad for the devs of this game. That's all I can say, because I really see a lot of passion and all that's good about a game in there, but I also see a vicious deadline that pushed this game out way too early, and, well, time will tell what will be coming out of that. I hope this was helpful for you. Drop me your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. I still haven't fully wrapped my head around what I'm doing with this game now, but let me know what you did. Thumbs up would be appreciated, consider subscribing, and check out the description box. You'll find plenty of links of mine down there, and very, very many thanks to the supporters of Icon Gaming, and a big, big thanks to you watching this video until the very end. Appreciated. See you there. Bye-bye.